What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJKillzownJones. Remember the name, remember you lame, and I am here right now. Killzown Interviews. I'm here with Elliot Zel. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, man, that's right, man. What's good, man? What's good, Killzone?
Nothing much, man. We it's been about this interview been about a week in the making, man. Had been running around and doing stuff. I found Elliot on Instagram. He is a comedian / entertainer on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I was gonna say something. I was about to talk, but I was thought you were gonna say something.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So so on the YouTube thing, it's just just doing pranks, comedy skits. I do a couple of interviews now and again, but at the moment, just more pranks and comedy skits. So yeah, man.
Now, off air, you were telling me that you were initially a vlogger, and then you transitioned over into the comedy and the interview.
Yeah, because basically the vlogging stuff, like even when I'm 25 years old now, but when I was back in school, when I was just finishing school, I tried the vlogging thing before, and I tried it a few times, but it didn't really work out. And I thought, okay, it had potential. Let me try it again. So last year I was doing it for a little bit, and it was going okay-ish. Like some people enjoyed it and that. But then when I started doing comedy skits, some people that like the comedy skits, they like the vlogs, but they wanted more comedy skits. And people that like the vlogs wanted more vlogs. Like the vlogs I'm talking about is like obviously the vlogs when you have the camera going outside talking, but also the vlogs where you're sitting down trying to make it like a comedy vlog sort of thing. But basically when I was doing the comedy, the pranks, and the vlogs, they were getting different types of audiences, but they didn't really the people that wanted the pranks didn't mind the comedy skits, but the people that wanted the pranks and the comedy skits didn't really want the vlogs. So I decided, okay, let me just concentrate more on the pranks and comedy skits for now, and then maybe I'll go back on the vlogs eventually. Because I know sometimes with the vlogs, if someone knows you or if they watch it, they might be like, okay, I like this guy. But sometimes people might not want to watch a vlog if they don't know who the person is, or they might not give them a chance. But with a prank, it's sort of like, oh, what's this guy? What's he doing? You just see the title of the video. Like, for example, I had this video called the gay porn prank. now, basically what it is, it was just something like I would just go on the street. It sounds a bit stupid, but if you watch it, it's basically just shouting out something like, what's that thing about the gay porn thing? So basically means other guys are an argument, yeah. But I was making people uncomfortable. So that video, for example, was just more of the reactions. So with the pranks, I like the ones where that awkward reaction you get from people. Like when they're sort of just thinking, who's this guy? What's he doing? That sort of thing. Because I know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was not gonna say that.
No, I like that you got the roast battles too, where you.
You enjoyed them. You enjoyed those ones, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because we got Nick Cannon's got like Wildin' Out, so it kind of reminds me of like when they had like the Wild Style battle. Like it's basically them doing what you guys are doing. But like I said, I haven't really, when we were talking off air, like I really haven't seen anybody over in the UK do what you're doing outside of like, what was that one guy who had they made the meme out of him. I forget his name.
Roll Safe.
Yeah, like that guy. Yeah, but like I think he was trying to be more serious, but
he came out first. I can't remember his real name, but he came out being serious, I think. Then he did the Roll Safe character, and people really loved it. But for some reason, he didn't want to do it no more because he said he wanted to be seen as a serious actor. But every time people kept seeing him, they were like, oh yeah, Roll Safe, do that thing. Then he wanted to be more known as serious. So what happened was he had his YouTube channel and whatnot. Everyone loved it, the Roll Safe character. Yeah, and then he got on TV, BBC Three, and then people didn't really seem to enjoy it as much on TV because on TV they watered it down a little bit. But I don't think he's doing the character's funny though. I don't think he's doing it no more. I think he just wants to be known as like I'm a serious guy. He doesn't want to.
I mean, and like I said, it's refreshing to see people from overseas really like with your production value like for like everything that you had, like you had the interview with the what's the gamer okay, yeah, I don't want to mess him up because
it's cool, it's cool.
Like you're introducing people to London culture. You're introducing them to London celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the one I like the best is like the awkward psychic prank where you're asking them and then you're like and then you know like that one is awesome. And then like I said, like you have all this different diversified content, and it's good because no problem. Like it's good because it's like I don't really, other than like I said, the Jim Sterlings, the coalitions, the people who are in the gaming side, like outside of that, and then your traditional like your actors and your singers, like the Adele's like crushing everything, and you got what's my guy's name? You got Skepta and what's the other guy? Stormzy. Yeah, you got you getting those people to kind of start bubbling up, because like we were talking about that off air too, like had like the perception. But like you get those people, but then you don't really get to see the other side, because we don't have these talks, we don't have these type of interviews, and that's why I wanted to interview you, because it's like it's good to get that different perspective, it's
like different culture sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I was so like now that you've made the transition from vlogging to comedy, like do you feel like people are more susceptible to your content?
Yeah, because what is when I was because when I was doing the vlogs, there was little parts in it that was quite funny and stuff, and some people said, oh, they like the funny parts in the vlogs, but there've been certain vlogs where it wasn't meant to be funny, and so it was one of those ones I thought, let me just do more of the funny stuff. So I do stand up, but now and again, but at the moment I'm concentrating more on like the comedy skits, the pranks, and that sort of thing. So it's like, I guess some people might say internet comedian, but I do stand up as well. But I just think in this day and age, more people they want to see more. I don't know if people like my age group are more into stand up as the older generation. Because at first I was doing the vlogs. They went to the comedy skits, so I was doing the comedy skits, doing the stand up. But I always felt like, I feel like more people my age group prefer more of the Snapchats, the Instagram, the YouTube videos, more than coming out to shows to watch someone perform. Unless obviously they're like some like popular guy sort of thing like that.
Yeah, you'll get there. Because that's how it usually goes. Like it builds because you have you go from the internet celebrity, and then when people start getting you, like with the roll safe guy, when people start seeing you more and more, in the streets, it's good to do that, like have the stand up. Like I'm starting to get back more into events because I was doing events and doing parties and stuff like that. DJ, and it just was like, okay, if I do the vlogging thing, because there's not that many people in the Midwest really doing the vlogging thing like it is on like the East Coast. You got your Vlads, you got your hip hop gamers, you got your academics, but you don't have that person in the Midwest that's really doing it. So like I feel like what you're doing and the flavor and the production value that you're bringing to it, that you'll get there. Like you inspired me to step my game up, because I'm looking at you. I mean you've been at it for almost like a year, but it's like you got growth across all of your videos. Like you got what I'm saying, you're bringing a different type of vibe, and that's why I wanted you on the show.
There was one basically because I had a couple of channels like in the past, but there's ones where it's like didn't really work out, so then I decided, okay, let me keep the channel and keep going. So I had a couple of vlogs that was near to 1,000 views. That's not like amazing amount, but obviously for a small channel, when you see 1,000, oh wow. But because when I had the vlogs, like when I went to, like for example, when I went to India, I filmed it, and it was pretty good in that. I still got my channel, but it's just on private, just because the audience I was getting from that, they like more of the traveling vlogs, but I wasn't going to travel around doing vlogs. It was just, I thought it'd be a good idea, which it was, but I was getting different people that wasn't really staying. So, you know, I just thought, okay, let me just private the vlogs and let me just sort of keep it more like pranks, comedy, and interviews. And because there's some more people I want to interview that are a bit more like popular, like, you know, like in the industry, you know, like entertainment industry. But, you know, I just want to show people, like, because you know that, you know, when you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that you can sort of speak to get an interview them. But I sort of want to show my work from the ground up to be like, oh, I am, you know, putting that work. And, you know, because sometimes there's some people that you just know someone, then they get them. Then you think, oh, how did that person get that person? And, you know, I just want to show, you know, the progress, you know, when you know, like, so like maybe years from now, you look back and be like, oh yeah, you know, he was doing this, you can see the progress. Well, then, you know, have you seen, you know, sometimes, I don't think nothing's wrong with it, but you know, sometimes you see those channels where all those, you know, when they have like 1 or 2 videos on their channel, but they've got like 1 million, but then, but there's nothing else that's there. And sometimes it's a bit odd because it's like, yeah, no, sometimes I think it's better when you see the growth, when you see like, you scroll down and you see like, you know, for example, your channel, you got like, I think one of your channels you got like 1,000 videos, isn't it? On one of your channels, and you know, you scroll down, you see like, oh, I remember I was scrolling down, I was like, oh, okay, you see like, you know, how you started off, and you can see how it changed and everything. But I like the hip hop news stuff that you do. I think it's pretty good actually. Like,
oh, thanks. I mean, you know, I do those things, and you know, it was kind of reverse with me because I was doing like the vlogging, and then, well, I was doing like the music, and then kind of doing like little skits and little things. So I switched back to the vlogging because people like to hear my take on situations, and really I say what people really want to say, and I try to I try to be positive and try to be to the point, because what I don't want to do, you already got like, you know, people like academics and Charlemagne and the Vlad, like that, and sparked the controversy. Like I want to be able to walk outside my door and not have to worry about, like, I don't want to be confined to a certain area. Like I could still go to the hood now and move. Like I don't want to have to be moving around and avoiding people. What do you think because of Vlad and academics? Well, it's not because of them. It's not because of them. And it's
no. So I meant like with them. Do you think they can only be in certain parts? Because
because
of what they say.
Exactly. It's because, and it's not their fault. Like I think a lot of people attack them for saying certain stuff, but it's like, if I can hurt your feelings based on my opinion or based on my views or whatever, then you know what I'm saying? Or even if you're doing something wrong and I say that's whack, you don't need to be doing this. Like you don't need to be in this industry if you feel like if what I say, just because I got 1 million views or because I get like 100,000 or 1,000, whatever I say, it doesn't matter. It's like people nowadays don't like you to critique them.
Exactly. I know.
It's like I had a situation a couple of weeks ago where it was a guy that I knew locally that had a business. I didn't like the service for it, and dude took off on me because I posted a review online about his service, and he took it like I was trying to thrash his business. And I'm like, no, it's just the fact that you didn't rectify it. I have to do this, and then, you know, I got threats and I got different things that had happened.
Did you know the guy personally?
I knew the guy personally, but even still, business and personal is two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and that's what. And you starting out in this industry, like when you start working with people, you gotta detract both of those. Like if you cool with people that you're doing vlogs with, if they do something jacked up, you should be able to go to them. And if you go to them and they don't rectify the problem, and you doing business with them, then you gotta put them on Front Street, because you know what I'm saying? You only let people do to you what you allow them to do.
Exactly.
So, but I dodged that because I was just like, you know what, I took it down. I apologize for what I said, even though, because they, you know, I could have took it different ways, but I was just like, you know, and that's just what it is. So it's like when I talk about people in the way that I talk about them, I do it in a way that's it's not.
But I think nowadays people are quite sensitive. They take anything, like, you know, it's like you can't even say anything to anyone without them trying to label you something or try to say stuff like, oh, you're hating on me. And it's like, no, I'm just, you know, you're just saying, oh, you know, I don't know. Like sometimes before I release any videos, I might just show a couple of friends and be like, oh, what do you think? And I remember I had this one friend ages ago. I don't really speak to him that much anymore. And you know those guys who just say, yeah, man, yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. And I'll be like, no, what do you actually think? Don't tell me, you know, if you don't actually like it, just let me know. So, you know, then he'd be like, no, it's good, it's good. Then when I do, you know, I remember there was a time when I did upload a video, and he goes, oh, you know what? Then when I upload it, then he's like, oh, actually, that one video, yeah, you could have that part. And I was like, why didn't you say that then if you felt like that before?
Because he was afraid that he was going to offend you. So it's like, that's just what it is. People don't want to like, and that's why I welcome it. Like when people tell me stuff about me, I want to tell them, like, you know, I want them to tell me because then depending on what happens, you get better. Like you get like all the situations, like I was telling you about the people that I used to work with. Now it's the same situation. Like I take the criticism, they might not take it because they feel like if people, and the other thing is too, because of your position and like my position, like I only talk about people that are national and international because A, it gets the most hits. Yeah. And B, it's like when you living in the same city and you might be still working or you might be still in school or whatever you are doing. If you're not doing something full time, it's kind of like they look at you like, who are you to tell me anything about what I'm doing and you still working a 9 to 5 or you still in the school or whatever and I'm doing X, Y, and Z or whatever. So I don't even address people locally like that unless they like I've even gotten away from doing interviews because unless you're like a Vlad or somebody that is reputable, they look at you as being on the same level. It's like my sign, like my sign vlog you were telling me that you like that I just posted up. Yeah, the reason why he's able to talk like that, and a lot of those other New York artists are talking like that to Troy Ave and everything else like that, is because they feel like they're bigger than him because they've had deals and they've had this and they have this and they've done this and they sold this many records and got this many views and whatever. But at the end of the day, Troy Ave ain't messing with none of them like that. He's self-sufficient. So that's why all that conflict comes, because he'll say something and then something next week he'll get in a fight or a shootout or something will happen behind what he done said. Whereas he, you know, and at first he ignored it, but it's like he had to start addressing it. But when you start addressing it, you got to bring on all that stuff. So it's like I just talk about stuff that everybody else is talking about, because then it's like if they come at me about something, it's like with the Birdman and Charlemagne thing. Birdman, everybody had been saying being disrespectful to Birdman, but because he felt like he could punk Charlemagne, he went after him. He didn't go after Rick Ross or none of the other people. The people that he knew that he had to really come with it to press. So when he found out that he couldn't do that to them, he couldn't bully them, then he left. You know, and then
I don't understand those sort of guys where it's like where they try to come across. I'm not just speaking about Birdman, but you know those sort of guys that try to come across like, you know, like gangster or whatnot. But then they always start. But you never see them do anything to anyone else. That's claiming. Oh yeah, because it's just like with the guys that I was dealing with the business, like
like it's because they're not going to they're not risking their freedom. First of all, their business and their livelihood trying to deal with somebody like me. And it's like I'm that type of person that I would still, even though I had said those things, I would address it publicly, and I would still work with you. Like I'm not doing it out of but people feel like, but when people get attacked all the time because of the lifestyle that they lead. If like Birdman, I'm just gonna use that as an example. If he's not flexing jewelry and doing all this other stuff that he's doing, buying $1 million car, and there's no disrespect to Birdman, but you're not paying your artist for the hard work. Like he was, you know, saying, oh, I got 1 billion sold, but Lil Wayne still can't. He got to get Jay-Z to come over and buy him out his contract.
Oh, is that what happened recently?
Yeah, that happened. Like I don't know if they've confirmed it, but like I think that's what's getting ready to happen. Him and Jay Prince and a lot of that. I think they're gonna take that whole Young Money brand and go, you know, and move it over to Rock Nation, and he's gonna go over there to Rock Nation. And I think Birdman is just gonna get the money that he was gonna get off of that album.
But do you think Lil Wayne could go independent though? Like,
oh yeah, he could, but That's what I'm saying. Like people don't like, and that's why like it's like I do these interviews because I like to see people like yourself, you know, comedians, artists, and stuff like that. He could do it, but it takes so much to be independent because as you see with Troy Ave, everybody's hating on you. So as you see with Tech Nine and other people like that, like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's independent. Like he may might have deals to do movies and stuff like that, but all of his stuff comes out of Heartbeat Productions.
What do you think about that? The Kevin Hart hate. You know, it's weird because obviously people must love him because he's at the very, very top. But at the same time, it feels like everyone just hates him. It's odd, don't you think? Like
the only people that really hate him are other comedians, and that's because they feel like that because who they are. They feel like that they should get the same love, respect, and adoration, but it's not like you're not in 6 movies a year. You're not doing in between 6 movies. You're not doing 50 comedy shows back to back to back. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing soundtracks to your movie and paying all these artists to do your soundtrack. You're not on Netflix. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not giving opportunities to other comics. You know what I'm saying? Like that you're not doing and even if you are, you're not doing it on the level that Kevin, because Kevin worked hard for that. Like he was signed to, I think he had a deal or a management contract with Damon Dash when he first started out. But once he got away from that, he went to, I think, Walter Lathan. And after he left Walter Lathan, he went by himself. Like he saved his money, he bided his time, and he just now everything is about what Kevin wants to do. Kevin is he makes the rules now. Like if they come to him with a movie, if he wants to do the movie, he can pick and choose. He don't have to take the work that is given to him. He could just go on with it. So I feel like as you come up and as you blossom and as you grow with your channel, there's gonna be people that's around, and the hate is gonna come right around you. Like you ain't gonna have to look way over down there. You won't have to look. You know, you won't have to look. Right. Yeah, you won't have to look in. You won't have to look in up to Luton or whatever other cities there in London. Like you won't have to look around. The hate is gonna be right in your area. You won't have to.
And the odd thing is like there's some, you know, so-called friends. You know, basically people that you might have worked with before. You had ideas with them. Then you said, "Oh, this is the idea that I want to do. We should do this." Then when they start seeing you doing ideas they didn't want to do, but when they start seeing it, they just start hating behind the scenes. And then you think, you know, like for example, like before I had this camera, the camera that I'm using right now. I actually asked a few people. I said, "Oh, I'm thinking of these prank ideas. Do you want to do it?" I know I already uploaded 2 of them, but I got more that I just haven't uploaded yet. And I asked a few people, and they were like, sort of like, yeah. Then you know, they just didn't bother. So now that I'm doing it with a couple other people, I don't know. It's like people are sending, you know, some people might be sharing it a little bit, and then I might be sending it to them saying, "Oh, you know, check this out," and then they'll be telling someone else they find it funny, but then when I ask them, "Oh, have you checked that video out?" They'll say, "No, I haven't checked it out yet." I'm like, but I'm thinking to myself, that person told the other person that he has checked out and he liked it, but that same person told me, no, I haven't checked it out yet. It's like a bit weird, but I just thought, okay,
you like I had that recently where I've had to cut off friends and stuff like that is because like then if they do something that you want to do, they don't want to help. They don't want to bring you in. They just kind of excommunicate you and be like, well, I want to do it with such and such, but we're going to do this over here. And then it never happens or materializes. So it's like, you got to just, like, I've gotten to that point, and it may be like, I've gotten to that point where when I hang out with friends and stuff like that, unless I got a friend, shout out to Mel Weezy at the Geekly Podcast. Like, unless we like started as friends and then we kind of started like working together after that, like if we're friends and I have all the ideas and I'm the keeper of the keys, like you can't bring your friends and try to force them into what you want to do, because they may not want to do those ideas. So when they see you doing them and then they go off and do them, it's because you just made that impression on them. They may not want to do it with you because they feel like you might get all the glory and the praise, and it's kind of like, you kind of over here like, come on. I want to work with you and I want to build with you, but they may look like is you trying to sun them, you trying to run them, you trying and that's just what it is. Like people don't want to play their role or play their position.
But my thing is like just like for example, like like this happened to me a few people that I've worked with before, but just like for example, okay, there'd be let's say I've done a video with someone, or let's just say I just done a video myself, and then there's a friend that enjoyed the video. Now I might have asked that friend, oh, can you share that video on your Facebook? Because I'm supposed to be if they can share it, and then he might be like, yeah. They won't, that person probably won't share it, but then they'll be sharing other videos of people they don't know that's maybe gone viral. And I'll be thinking to myself, why, you said you enjoyed my video. Why don't you help share my video? Because I'm unknown, why don't you help your friend out that you enjoy his video rather than some person you don't know that went viral? I mean, you can do both, but I mean, the way I see it is if I have a friend and my friend done something which I really enjoyed, might be like, oh, I got this friend that done this. Check my friend out. Before I would say check the stranger out. I sometimes just think that there'd be some people that would say they're friends and that, but then when it comes down to like helping out on certain things, which is they might be a part of, they would just won't,
because they don't want to see you, and I don't mean to sound like DJ Khaled, but they don't want to see you doing better than they are. Like they look at it like, well, if I support Elliot's video and he blows up, it's a chance of him not want to deal with me. Like you were saying about KSI, like I've heard that name before, but I'm not too familiar with it because I know it's probably
he's like a FIFA YouTube guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with him, he probably like you said, like dude was saying that he had kind of changed on him, and he's like, and people don't want to admit that, but if I blow up, right, and or if you blow up and your friends that supported you, they feel like they're entitled to some of that. So it's like if you get your friend to go buy the lottery ticket, he buys the ticket, right? Y'all put in on it, and it wins, but he went and bought the ticket. So now it's like, well, are you entitled to some of that money?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You buy the ticket yourself, and it's like, well, are you and your family, like your family, entitled to the money you just won? So, I do think
sometimes. So go on.
No, go ahead.
I do think sometimes, like for example, like who your close friends are, I know who my close friends are, but sometimes that someone might think that they're closer to you than you may think. So like like I might be like, okay, in real life I only have like a very few close friends, or if a couple of close friends. Now there might be someone who might be like thinking that we're very close. So then if I do blow, they'll be like, oh, how come Elliot's not helping me? And there might be a thing of, oh, no, like I'm obviously helping my friends out first, But then they'd be like, oh, but I thought we were friends. I'd be like, yeah, well, cool, but we're not. Then I think sometimes it might happen like that. Like there might be someone who's sort of popular, like for example, I think Drake goes through that. I think from what it sounds like, that there's a lot of people that think that they're very close to him, and he's ignoring everyone. I think that the Hot 97 was. I think they were talking about that. I think it might have been him, or that Hot 97 was talking about, oh, Drake doesn't come on the show or stuff like that. But Drake might have, might want to go with someone else's show that he knew beforehand, or I think it was Drake or Joe Budden. Might have been Drake.
I think it was that, and I think like he won't go up there because Drake did a lot of stuff for Hot 97. Like Drake did drops, Drake did the Summer Jam, Drake did a lot for that building. So when the whole ghostwriter allegations came out, they went hard on Drake, whereas Power 105, like he won't go over there because he won't go do neither of them because of Charlamagne. He won't do because Charlamagne
he keeps
roasted Drake, and he won't go. And that's the thing about Drake. Drake is at that point where he don't have to play them games no more. So it's exactly. He don't have to participate if he don't want to participate. So it's kind of like now he chooses who like Zane Lowe did one, then he did one with Semtex. Like he chooses the people that he wants to deal with. So they cry foul on Drake because they've done a lot. They feel like they've done a lot by bringing Drake on that show. Like they don't just bring anybody on that show. So it's a two-way thing. But you know,
which side do you agree with more though? Like, can you like if, for example, if you was in Drake's position, would you be like, oh, let me go back to Hot 97?
Because if you're gonna go off of somebody's allegations off of Meek Mill, because Meek Mill is a person that does all of that stuff because he has to. There ain't no shade against Meek Mill, but Meek Mill's got to do all the radio events. He's got to do all of the summer jams. Drake has his own OVO fest that people all over the world, even people come from the UK, they travel all the way to Canada. They got to get it. So that means people from America, from Canada, from all Australia, all over the world getting passports. They spending $2,000-$3,000 just to get to Canada. Then they spending $4,000 or $5,000, not 4 or 5, but let's say $1,000 a night if you add up airfare, hotel, food, and everything else like that. So you spending almost $10,000 to see a show for 4 days. That's all Drake and all of his friends and all of and that happened. He's been doing that. I think this will be the 6th year that he's done it. So it's like the 5th or 6th year, I forget, but it's like he could do that with no media coverage, no social media. Like all he does is just on his Instagram, his Facebook, his Twitter. This is when it is. This is who's coming. Tickets go on sale at this point. And then when midnight rolls around, the day the tickets sell, they sell out and they sold out.
Because he's done it with is it mixtapes or EPs? Hasn't he just said, oh yeah, it's out now, sort of thing? Then
like he don't like people, and people were anticipating it. Like when More Life came out last month, the end of last month, beginning of this month, like people were anticipating it. Like if he had just came off of a year, or not even a year, but 9 months ago, he just put out the album. Then he's putting out this. So now it's kind of like he's getting ready to start doing acting. But I think he's gonna put out music here and there. He's gonna have a song out every year to kind of like carry him forth to the next album. Like when he did with Views, he had went 3 or 4, like 2 years without putting out a EP. Then he put out the Future mixtape. Then he put out the mixtape by itself. The end of that year, put out the mixtape with Future, and then 6 months later, put out Views. 9 months, like he's constantly working. But because of that, he has cemented himself. He don't have to do those things. You don't even see Future really doing interviews and stuff now because he cemented himself. He has created a lane where he does not have to do that. But do you think there's only a selected few people that can do that? Like they could be like, oh, I'm not going to these radio stations no more. I don't need them. Yeah, I mean, some people, because if you're gonna slander me every day, and it's just like with me, it's people that and probably with you yourself, when you get to the level that you want to be at, and when I get to, I'm not gonna be going on these not necessarily radio stations, because I don't have no beef, because I understand with the radio station. Radio station doesn't have a side that they pick. These people have their day-to-day lives, or they have like day-to-day stuff, like do relationship calls, and it's a business. They have to talk about these things because the people want to hear it. They want to hear it. So you got a lot of people that drive still and have morning commutes. Like I know you guys got Syntex and you got Westwood and stuff like that. So when you guys turn on those stations, you want to hear the music, but you might not be on your phone yet. Like we haven't got to that all digital age where nobody is using the car radio, or nobody's watching TV yet. It's just all internet. We haven't got there yet. You know, we still got our parents and grandparents that use.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they have to cater to that market. Now, maybe 20, 30 years when we grow up, they may phase out radio. They may phase out TV. It may be all online like the Apple Music, but it's only a few people now that can do that, and I feel like they have every right. If I have the choice to do it, you know, like Kevin Hart does it regardless because he loves going on there and joning on Charlemagne. Like they'll go back and forth. Like he'll do it with Hot 97 because he has a relationship with Rosenberg. He has a relationship with Ebro. He understands that he has to work in within their system because he's a comedian. Because people want to know, okay, I want to have a meet and greet. I got a meet and greet down the station, you know, from 9 to 12 p.m. You know, meet me there, beat me there. We're gonna all eat. It's all on me. I got Subway coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's what now? You know, so but Drake don't have to do that. Drake can just say, push a button, have his assistant, because it's not him that's online. His assistant. Like, unless it's like late at night when he's trolling people or whatever, but he don't even, like, Drake had just started doing that because more and more people have came to him. Kevin Hart doesn't have to go back and forth with him because it's not a rap, or it's not rap, it's comedy. So he doesn't have to go tit for tat, where Drake feels like, even though he has all that popularity, you know, Elliot, it's like, you don't have to go like yourself. You won't have to go back. You won't have to go back and forth with Roll Safe. You don't have to do that. Like, y'all don't have to. If he says something about you, like, man, I don't really rock with him like that. You don't have to address him because it's not hip hop. Now Drake
I do agree with you. You know, like, for example, though, like, I do think there are some, like, for example, remember that Cat Williams and Kevin Hart thing? Like, Kevin Hart didn't both reply, but there are certain comedians, and I think they will say the urban circuit or whatnot, or the underground circuit. They try to force it a little bit. Like, usually it doesn't really go anywhere. But you know, there's certain comedians that will try to beef another comedian, but it doesn't really go the way as hip hop does. I don't think it fits well, because it's like you're just there to make people laugh. So when you're trying to beef another person, it doesn't really, you know, it comes across a bit odd. Like, it's like it's comedy, not rap. So when you remember that Cat Williams things and Kevin Hart? Yeah,
but that's why, like I said, like, you got the roast battles. You know, to bring it.
Yeah.
That's like you had a roast battles, and you and your buddies that they had their channel. You got your channel. Y'all going back and forth like Wild 'N Out. Like, I feel like if they did that, and they have been on Wild 'N Out together, like, if that's an area that you fun it, you joke and you whatever with the other person, but it's just like, they take it because they feel like that they didn't have to sit, like Cat Williams and Paul Mooney and a lot of other, and Mike Epps and a lot of other people feel like, well, Kevin sold his soul because he had a dress on.
No, he's going about that.
Like, it's like, no, it's just like, what are you willing to do for your money? If it's like, if I got, like, I wouldn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if I'm playing a character, it's like, nobody ever got on Ving Rhames for being in drag, and I forget the name of that movie. Nobody ever got on Ving Rhames for being in that movie. And Ving Rhames is the tough guy. Like, we don't get on Terry Crews for doing questionable stuff because he's an actor. We don't. But when it comes to, like, comedy, and it comes to hip hop and stuff like that, because they feel like there is a green door. Yeah, it's a green door. That's what they say in Hollywood. People go behind that door and they do whatever. Like, it's not that. It's just the fact that he works, like, you know, like a slave, and he works. And same thing with Drake. Same thing with Nick Cannon. Same thing. They work until they can't work anymore, till their bodies are like, yo, I gotta, you know, that's when you see them in the hospital, or you see them getting sick, or you see, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like.
But also, I think, though, like, you know, you were saying how the comedians get angry at other comedians and for wearing the dress and all that. I also think, because you know the way they say things like, it's only one black comic at a time that can make it. So they think that one person that makes it they sell the soul, wear the dress and stuff. And then, I don't know, they start hating on that one person, because they say, oh, only one person can make it at a time. But there's been times where there was Cat Williams, there was, there was quite, like,
Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer,
like
Michael Blackston,
and all those people that was, you know, all at the same level at one point. Now it has become a little bit, maybe one at a time, but it doesn't mean maybe it's only one at a time. I don't know. It's
the same thing. Like the whole thing with Kendrick, Drake, and Big Sean. Like, Big Sean and Big Sean goes at Drake and Kendrick all the time, and go like, and then they have to address him, and then it's like they have to keep addressing each other, because if they try to make it seem, oh, this is friendly competition, but in actuality, these conversations gets deeper than that. Where when you look around, we live in a world where Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, Michael Blackston, Timothy Leggett, yourself, everybody is free enterprise. Like you got a Drake, a Kendrick, ASAP Rocky, Big Sean, Big Crit, J. Cole. You got an era where everybody, the young thugs, to the Migos, to the Meek, you have a future. We have an era where everybody can eat. It depends on how much you want to work, how good how good are you making connections, and how much you want to invest in yourself. Like Kevin Hart tells a story about all the time, like how he went from having little to like his mom gave him a year. His mom gave him a year he could live rent free.
Yeah. And
he just every night was out in Philly working. Every night till he caught the attention of a Damon Dash, and he was in Paper Soldiers and Soul Plane and all of that. Before, and he was driving halfway across the country to go to the comedy shop, the comedy store.
Yeah. But also I think though that like for example, there's some stand-up comedians, obviously they're getting a bit old now. They're 49, 50, and they look at someone who's at Kevin Hart age, or they think, oh, I was there before him. How did he make it? And I also think and so some of them get angry at the fact that there's some comedians that are on Instagram and they say things like, oh, look at that Instagram comedian, look at that internet comedian. He's not doing stand up. Or when that Instagram comedian does go over to do stand up, they always they try to look down on that guy because they didn't do it the right way. They didn't.
No, it's a different age. It's just like back then, like.
They didn't have that back then.
They didn't. It's like like Red Fox and Red Fox. You never hear Paul Mooney really say that. Red Fox, Paul Mooney, and Richard Pryor getting mad, and Robin Harris getting mad at Steve and Bernie Mac, rest in peace, and Cedric for being on Def Comedy Jam, they were in movies, but being on TV and having TV shows and stuff. That's just like them getting mad that they have a movie at the cinema. Like they didn't, a lot of them didn't have movies into the cinema until like people like Gene Wilder and other people kind of brought them on to the movie. They didn't have their own movie until later on down the line.
But I also think that I'm not saying Steve Harvey, but that generation though. That sort of get angry at the younger generation. I'm not saying Steve Harvey, but his era. Like, I think what it is as well, because that generation or that era is used to people sort of ringing them, saying they're waiting for Hollywood to sort of ring them, like, oh, do you want to be in this film? You want to be in this film? But nowadays, people like, our age group, they're just like, you know what? I'm going to film my own thing. I'm going to put this channel. I'm going to put this on this channel. I'm going to do my own thing. Then sometimes they get the phone call, but if they don't get the phone call, sometimes they still can make a living just doing what they're doing. So sometimes I think the 40-year-old stand-up comedian sometimes get a bit angry because they're like, oh, I'm still waiting for the school from Hollywood. How did this guy make it? But, I do see that with some people that I've seen personally who I just think it's odd. It's like they're just in a different mindset of like, they just think, okay, I see some people who, they don't have a name yet, but they just do stand-up, do little shows, and they hoping to get known. But sometimes I think you have to get known outside of doing stand-up sometimes. Then people be like, oh, I'm going to come and see your show. Because there could be some really good ones who are unknown, but they don't have a name and they're just doing shows. But if you had a name, then people are like, oh, I want to see your show. That's why I think the comedy skits and the album stuff helps, because people are like, oh, I've seen your videos online. Yeah, do you do shows? But sometimes the people that just do shows, obviously people don't know you. So it's like they might come to your show, but they don't know you because you don't have a name. So if you try to create a name outside of what they're doing, then people might be like, oh, I want to see what you do. That sort of thing. Sorry, I'm just going on.
You're right, and that's what it takes. It takes you doing like even Kevin Hart. He didn't start off being Instagram and internet savvy, but he was like, I'm gonna get on here every day. I'm gonna be on Periscope. I'm gonna be on Snapchat. I'm gonna be on Instagram Live. I'm gonna be on all of it because I'm going to use every opportunity, every outlet to get my point across. I don't care what it is. If it's popping, I'm there. And that's what it takes, because those people that you said that are waiting on the quote unquote deal, there is no deal. You sign a contract for promotion and everything else like that, and they take it. They're getting, essentially what they're doing now is when you have a 360 deal, or you have a deal where you basically selling your intellectual property off to them for them to just give you a leg up, to give you a look. And just because you get that look, if you don't perform to where you can have leverage over that look, then you're stuck there. They own you, and you have to continue to try to reach above and reach up over them. So it's better to have that leverage. It's better to be independent, to struggle, in my eyes, because it's like, if I can make a label, if I can come and have a label come to me and say, look, we'll offer you $30 million to come and we'll sign you as a DJ, as an artist, an A&R. We want you to do this, 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 and this. You could then say, okay, that ain't enough money because I'm making $30 million on your own. On my own. So that's what it is. It's like you gotta, but people aren't prepared to do that type of work. They think that they're so good that they deserve that deal. So it's like, it's like with you gotta just keep working, Elliot, and it's things out there. There's marketing and there's promotional companies like Mic Check Global, who I work with, and there's Facebook ads, there's Instagram ads, there are things that you could do to get yourself known and out there without getting a label involved. You could just pay the social media outlet to do the promotion for you. You don't need.
I think the label thing, if it was like a year deal or a few months, maybe you could get some benefits out of it. But if it's a long-term deal, you might just be like, oh damn, this is I can't get out of it now. Like, it's too long. Like if it was like a year, you might be like, okay, maybe they can help me get a bit popular, then I can leave them, then maybe I can help them, they can help me. But if it's like, sometimes they'd be like 6 years or 10 years, then you basically just in it for so long to the point where you do come out of it, you're like, oh man, no one cares about me no more. Obviously, with fame, even most people with fame, it only lasts for, well, certain people can last for the rest of their life. But certain times it's only a short amount of time, like 5 years you're on the top, then after a while it's people stop caring about you for a while. There's some actors like that actually.
It's like it's like that too. Like I noticed ever since you got like Stormzy and Skepta, people like that. I remember Dizzy Rascal. I remember I remember him because he was like I forget who he was on, but like you don't really hear people talk about Dizzy Rascal like that no more.
Nah. I don't know if he still makes music, to be honest. No one talks. Yeah, it's like a complete, like it was him, Wiley, and a couple of others. But now we got the Stormzy and the Skepters, and got a couple of others, but they're the main ones. Then there's a few of Chipmunk. I'm not sure you know Chipmunk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yes. I was gonna say something earlier actually. You used to got the roast battle actually. I never spoke about that. The roast battle. Yeah, basically, because when I had the first roast battle I did, because I was just looking online, and I watched some roast battles anyway, like the Comedy Central ones now and again, and I just thought, it might be quite a good idea, just to involve other people in, and just to be like, it's a good idea, like it might be fun, people can watch it. So the first time I did it, my friend was coming around anyway. I think it was just to do like a interview or comedy skit. It was to do something anyway. But when he was coming to my house, I was saying, I got this idea. A friend of mine called T. Weiler. So I got this idea. Oh, do you want to just do like a roast? And then he was like laughing. Oh, okay, we could just try it out. So the first video I did, I never knew how it would turn out. It was just me testing the idea out. So I thought, let me just put it online and see how people like it. So when people seem to enjoy that, the second one, I thought, okay, I want to try to get a bit more people in. I already got like 2 extra people, but I try and make it outside and make it a bit more like, the camera angles, make it a bit better. And then the third time I did it, I was going to have more people the third time, but 2 people didn't show up. So, but I thought, okay, let me try the idea of just outside, just joking about and stuff, whatever goes, and no one takes it. Like, I know some of you look at it and think, oh, you said that. I was like, no one takes it. Because when you're just there in the spot, like some people are like, I'm like, yeah, say whatever, I don't care. And so it just, so yeah, it's all good fun, and obviously you have to wine it out and stuff like that. So I just thought, it might be a good idea. Just people might enjoy it, and a good way as well, just to involve some people. Like, so if I was gonna work with someone anyway, and they might be like, some people messaged me said they want to do it. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't mind doing it. So I just have that there once in a while. I'll just do that. But I'm just trying to get the prank stuff. Try and do that mostly. But I know like for example, I think the pranks in America are better because it's like because in America you see like you got like more people got, I don't know, they're a bit more like characters, like they're a bit more like got more life to them. Like over here in London, obviously London's cool and that, but a lot of people are quite miserable. So like, so when you so when you're on the trains and stuff or whatnot, and you're trying to get a reaction out of people, they just sometimes they just ignore you. Just have like the paper and they're just really pretending to read the paper. They won't react. So sometimes it's a bit, I don't know. Sometimes you can get good ones, but it's not as good. But when I see it in America, I know like people like they react to things a bit more, or they're like a bit more lively. From what I've seen, maybe I don't know. Like I don't know. Like what do you think? Like
no, I think that because what you're doing, like nobody's really done it. I feel like you are yourself are the character, and it's kind of like you're bringing the people in. Like I'm noticing that you're bringing the people in, and you're bringing them into your world. So when they're like the psychic prank, like the dude was just standing there, they were just kind of standing there. And I could kind of see that kind of got that cold. Like there's like a lot of people on the East Coast. Is there anytime you get like a cold or rainy area, like people kind of like
they do
you know what I'm saying? Like, but because you're so lively and you're bringing that energy to them, I feel like you got a lot ahead of you, and I feel like the more of those you do. Try to stay safe doing it. Don't do nothing illegal or whatever. But because you're doing them like this, like you're bringing something that the UK hasn't seen. Like when I hear UK comedians, they'll talk about like their life experiences or whatever, and they kind of had that like ambiance, so they had that little swagger to them. But like to see you go out and actually do it, like and like with Roll Safe, like he was actually going out there and doing it. He was trying to be serious, but it didn't work out like that. But you like you just going out, you just having fun with it, and that's the thing I'm gonna tell you before we get out of here is as long as you having fun with it, like don't think about how people are like looking at the pranks here, because that's here, and depending on where you at, if you were in New York doing that, somebody would probably either pull out a gun or somebody will like get cursed out, like because that's where like you may not seen it. You've seen it like in the Midwest or in California people laid back, happy all the time. The sun is always out and it hardly ever rains out there. So it's like, and then you get down south, it's kind of the same thing. People kind of like, are happy, more hospitable and stuff like that. So depending on where you saw the prank and where it was filmed and who it was with, if the actors are in tune, but the fact that you're just bringing people in, they kind of like, and then you're like, you're animated. It's even more funnier because it's like, they have no idea. Like, I don't know if you telling them beforehand.
Basically, what happens is, obviously my friend's at the camera, and he's not filming it at the time, but I might, because I was in the park that's nearby. So when I was in the park, when I saw someone walk by, I just went up to him and said, do you believe in, first to say hello and stuff. And I'm like, do you believe in psychics? Obviously they're like, not really. And I said, look, let me prove it to you. I'm filming a YouTube video. You want to come on film? And I'll prove it to you on film. So they're like, okay, yeah. So when they're coming over, my friend's setting up the camera and stuff. So before it started, well, it was filming, but they didn't know it was filming. So that's why I was like, okay, before we start, what's your name? And then that's when they're like, okay, my name's this. That's what I was like, okay, cool. So then the next minute when I said, I haven't met this person before, that's what they're like, no, I haven't met you before. And that's why I said, your name is. And then some of them were really like, even when I told them afters, like most of them laughed it off, but there were a couple of people who just didn't understand. Even when I told them afters, I was like, no, basically, like they didn't get until I got their social media stuff. Then I sent the video to them. Then they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, so you make video. And then, like, instead of like you keeping it roll, like, I'm just gonna say with the rest of the videos, like, don't give away the secret sauce, because then you have like people that want to run off and do the same thing. Like you were saying earlier, it's like you got to kind of keep like that right there. That's cool how you did that, because now it makes sense, and then it's even more funny because it's like you're asking him the name, so it's like you point at the guy to like roll the tape, but you already filming. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You already told him you get ready to film, and then you ask him who. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's spontaneous like that, and that's what
I thought. Like, I had that idea for quite a while. I don't know how it came to mind. I just thought, how these sometimes the people that are psychic will say certain things which you think, what are they talking about? So I thought, okay, would it be funny if I just they said something right there, and I just said what they said, and they don't know how to react because they're thinking. Because I think so. How would I be in that position? And I might, to be honest, the way they acted, I might have been like that as well. I might have been a bit odd, like, yeah, that sort of thing.
So, you know, just to kind of wrap it up, Elliot, like, what's next for you? Like, what do you got planned? Like, what new videos are you coming? Without going into too much detail, because I don't want you to give it away and then somebody else runs off and goes and does it. You know, and then like, what's your goal for like the next year? I don't like doing 5 years or 3 years.
Okay, so at the moment, obviously just filming more pranks, trying to get more interviews. I'm trying to get more into the Snapchat stuff as well, like, because I'm doing the videos on YouTube, but I thought, okay, obviously let me try and do some Snapchat stuff as well, and more of the funny Snapchat videos and Instagrams, because I am focused on YouTube the most, but you know, sometimes it's good to get some, you know, 10-second videos. Some people might just want to watch the 10-second videos, then they might want to come over to the channel. So yeah, just at the moment, the next sort of video is just more pranks, more funny videos on Snapchat, Instagrams, and all that sort of stuff. Really.
Okay. So, anybody?
Oh, sorry. So you asked where I would see myself in the next year or so. Sorry. So yeah, the next year. I'm hoping next year is to just, I don't know to say establish, or just that people sort of get what it is that I do. Like, maybe people get it already, but I just want people to know when it. Oh, this is what he does. Oh yeah, that guy. Or even if I'm not popular, like, people are like, oh yeah, I get what you're doing. Like, I get, because sometimes I think some might be confused but I just want people to get, like, okay, this is what he does. This is the brand sort of thing. So hopefully next year, a bit more subscribers, bit more of a following, and that sort of thing. And hoping soon to start hosting shows, and maybe not next year, but you know, like, because also I wanted to stand up, but you know, also I want to start hosting shows, get paid for it eventually. You know, when you see you got like a following, and they're like, oh, can you host this show? You got this following, and get paid for it. I like that sort of thing as well. Sort of make some, if it's not on YouTube, outside of it, trying to monetize it somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would just say this, just so, like, you know, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of, you know, since you early into it, like, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of pitfalls. It's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna try to take you for a ride, but just remember to have fun with it. Like, I always have fun doing these things. So it's like, sometimes you want to get to the bag, but you gotta chase the purpose. Like, you know, Calla says secure the bag. I say secure the purpose, because if you secure the purpose, the bag is gonna come. It's gonna come to you. You don't have to come to it. When you secure it is once you get comfortable in your purpose. And I feel like sometimes I got kind of sidetracked. Like, it's been times that I kind of took a break or whatever, but as long as you have fun doing it, as long as it's not forced, it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not it doesn't feel like a job to you, then it'll always it'll end up paying off. It may not pay off when you want it to, but it'll definitely pay off in the end, because people, just like you said, like, that's like, you got the right idea if you want to kind of look at like my formula on how I do, because I've kept pretty much every video on my channel so people could see like the growth from like me on a 480p camera to now I'm on like a 720p camera. Now I want to get to a 4K, you know, had a streaming and stuff like that, and doing, you know, just keep it growing and keep it progressing, because as long as you're not going backwards, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you might have to take a step back and kind of reevaluate things, but as long as you're not going completely backwards, as long as you're progressing, then that's going to really take you to where you want to go. And because you're doing something in your area that not a lot of people are doing, like, I think you're going to, you know, see a lot of success.
And I know there's a few people in the UK that I mean, there's this channel called Troll Station. They do pranks, but they just do pranks. But there's not many people that I know of that do the pranks and the comedy stuff. Like, I feel like I'll feel bad if I'm missing someone out that I should probably say. You know, like, people from the London might be like, oh, I saw you do that interview, you never mentioned. But I can't think of anyone on top of my head. Like Troll Station, they do pranks. That Real Safe guy, he does like act and stuff. I I don't think I'm missing anyone out. You know.
Well, you got any other people that you want to shout out? You know?
Okay. Let me think. Obviously, shout you out first. Like, obviously, put me on.
No problem.
I appreciate it. And yeah. Let's shout out a friend of mine called RB the Cruz. He's like a music producer and stuff. He's cool. Like, he helps you out with some stuff. To be honest, there's not many people to shout out, but I would want to shout out my profile quickly. Yeah. If you just official Elliot Zel on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and just Elliot Zel on Twitter and Snapchat. So yeah, man, I appreciate you contacting me in there. Actually, I think I contacted you first, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know what I'm saying, I try to keep my ear to the ground, ear to the street, and I try to look online and find like the people who are next up, because like you said, there are not a lot of people that are up top that are willing to come back down. And that's where, like we were saying earlier, people get apprehensive on wanting to help out, or get apprehensive on wanting to reach back, or get apprehensive, period, because people feel like once you do something, you know, it's never enough. Can I stop it quickly? You know, like, sorry, I know I keep talking as like it's a bad habit of mine, but you know, like, for example, like there was someone that I knew, that was sort of the same amount of subscribers I had, maybe a little bit higher. He never said to me that he didn't want to collab, but he basically just said that he doesn't want to collab at anyone his level. He never said it to me, but you know, he doesn't want to collab at anyone his level. But I find that a bit stupid, because it's like he basically wanted to collab with people that are very high up, like that had 1 million subscribers. But I think to myself, if you have 100 subscribers, how do you expect to collab with someone with 1 million subscribers? Or why don't you just work on the people that's, you know, on your level, so you could come up together? Because my thing is, like, I'm trying to get people around me to, like, the ones that are interested. Obviously, all of us come up together, and that's why sometimes the interview stuff. Obviously, there's some interviews I want to do of people that I don't know that I think are interesting. But sometimes if there's like a friend that I think there's potential in them or whatnot, and they want a bit of help, that I will bring them on. Even if my channel is small, I will still try help, even when my channel gets popular or whatnot. Help each other out. Because like you said, like me and you, we kind of we don't have, like, I don't mind seeing people succeed without me. It just makes me work harder and kind of reevaluate what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and then it's like it's stuff that I realize that I need to start doing, and stuff I need to stop doing. But a lot of other people don't have that same desire. They don't want to see other people grow. They don't want to see it. And sometimes, even if you want to see them grow, they may not want to grow alongside you. So it's best to focus on you and learn to make the content on your own. I'm not saying like, cause see me, I kind of took it to the extreme. Like, I kind of just was like, man, if don't nobody want to do what the hell I want to do, I don't want to hang out, I don't want to do and that's not healthy. You know, I wouldn't advise doing that. But if you know that your friends aren't motivated, if you don't, like, you drop videos, you know, every week or every month or however often you drop your videos, don't try to press them, because that might not be their calling. They're not trying to be, you know, YouTube stars, and they're not trying to be comedians, star.
Oh, no. Basically, with the friend stuff, if the pranks, all I need is maybe a friend of mine might just hold a camera, so that's not really anything. But with the other stuff, like the roast battle stuff, usually there are friends that said, "Oh, Elliot, I checked out your video. Do you wanna? Can I do it?" So the friends that I've used in videos are the ones that contacted me, which I didn't mind. I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Then I'll say to them, "Is there any other ideas, or if you're interested in?" If they had any ideas they want to do that I think I could do, then we do it. I never really force anyone. I'll just be like, I'll say to them, if you want to do it, just do it. If you don't want to do it, then no. That sort of thing. So
yeah, don't try to get the people that if they don't want to do it, don't try to flip them back into doing it. Like, let them do their thing, let them be over there, and you keep doing your thing, because just because y'all were cool in the previous, don't mean that you're gonna be cool. Like, you can stay cool. You can still have people that you are cool with that is outside of your circle or outside of who you work with or outside of your passion, but don't not distance yourself, but kind of just like make sure you spending all the do everything you need to do, spend all the time you need to spend on what you need to do first before you go and congregate with them.
Yeah, exactly. Very good point, actually. yeah. I know what you mean. So with me, so that's what I sort of just been doing, like working mostly just my own stuff. But if there's anyone that I know personally, they'll be like, yeah, I want to do that, I want to do that. Then it's like, okay, cool. If they don't, then whatever. That sort of thing.
You know, I thank you for coming on, Elliot, man. It was an honor and pleasure, man, to interview you. And, you know, pleasure's all mine, man. I'm here to, like I told the other artist that was here on the show recently, man, I'm here to serve, because I remember when I started doing what I was doing, didn't nobody really put me on. And if they did, they tried to, little low me or put me down because I was trying to come up. And they, people fear anytime somebody else is on the come up, they feel like they're on their way down. Whereas me, I'm more of the school of, if I bring a whole bunch of people up with me, it's kind of like with Wayne, Nicki, and Drake. It's like he's able to survive because they're still making music and still making money. So that karma and that goodwill comes back to you, and it come back when you least expect it or when you need it the most.
Because my thing is, when we were speaking earlier, about when I said the friends you won't share the videos and whatnot. Basically, my thing is, if I'm obviously now I'm unknown, if they were doing the things like sharing the videos, I would remember that, and I'd be like, oh yeah, when I was unknown, like you did this, you did that. Like for example, you giving me this interview. Obviously, I'm gonna remember this. I'll be like, and then people speak, I'll be like, oh, what was the first official interview you've done and stuff like that. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Killzown, yeah. I'm gonna be like that, because also I'm gonna remember who were the ones that contacted when you started off from low number. I'm gonna remember that. Like so when some people do it weird, they do it reverse. They get popular, then there's like they think everyone that's contacted them when they're popular. I think it's stupid. When I'm unknown, like now, anyone that's helping out, I'll be like, oh yeah, I would definitely remember you, of course. Like that sort of thing. Or if there was someone that wanted, like whatever sort of thing, if they wanted stuff like that I could help with, I'd be like, yeah, cool, why not?
Because people want to have that, because we live in a society, like an individualistic society, like more so over here where I'm at than like in the London, UK, because y'all have a big sense of community and pride and stuff. Like America does too, but it's more a personal thing because it's a smaller country and it's more close knit. So everybody kind of understands like to keep everything afloat, especially with the whole Brit exit thing going on. Like y'all gotta work to be able to do that. Y'all gotta be like this. Whereas like we have people that are like this, then we got people that are like this, then we got people that are like this. So it's just different. So, but like I said, Elliot, man, you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and I'm already subscribed. I'm following you on Facebook, and I already went ahead and did that, man. And it's genuine, man. Because when I see people on the come up, I don't want people to feel like I when I got my first 100,000, 500,000 views or whatever, even when I get to 1 million views, I'm not gonna change or switch up because I had some type of status. I'm still working and grinding. Just like
how did it feel though when you got your first? I saw one video you had that was like loads of views. I was like, damn. How did it feel when you got that?
I mean, it felt good, but I'm kind of like, I'm in the Drake mind state of I gotta come with the next thing. So if this one hits this, I'm trying to figure out how to get the same or more. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I've come to realize that people are either getting fake views, some channels are, or they're getting real marketing on their channels and on their pages and stuff like that. And it's kind of keeping the same, like it's kind of keeping everything leveled out, so it has that appearance of.
I think that fake view stuff is like, what is the actual point? Like I understand, from a business point of view, some people might think, okay, if this video has this amount of views, more people will click on it. But I do find it a bit stupid. That I just think just be authentic, like
that's because it was invented by the corporations and stuff like that because, like you said, the business side. But now that YouTube has essentially become more of an internal company, they're not allowing that to happen because when you get to looking at IRS and you looking at
like technical stuff.
Yeah, when you start looking at technical and legal stuff, like if I'm altering my channel and I'm altering my views and it's just all of it is just automated, then I'm not giving you an actual number on your metrics, who's watching your video, where they're watching it, things of that nature. So that's why people do those fake views, and they do them from different countries, and they do them from different areas. They do fake followers and stuff like that, so it makes them appear bigger.
Bigger than what they are.
Yeah, but they're not, and you can find out now who's real and who's fake.
I know. I think it's dumb as well, because it's like, for example, imagine if I had 1 million followers now that were fake, and someone wanted to work with me now because they're like, oh, you got his numbers. Then when we do put something together and it doesn't add up, or like after a while things won't add up, like you got 1 million followers, but you do a show and only 10 people show up, then they'll be like, oh, you got this big following, how come this is not adding up? You'll look, after a while you're gonna look like some fraud. I just think it's dumb. But because you know the shout out parts. So shout out to RB the Cruise. Shout you out as well, man. I appreciate you having me on and everything.
Thanks, and I thank you for coming on. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This your boy DJKillzownJones, Killzown Interviews, Elliot Zel. I put the link to his channel, and I'm gonna update it once I get all the links. Send me all the links. Send it to me on Facebook, and that way I can just copy and paste it, and I don't have to go back and forth or whatever. Or you can send it to me via email. That'd be probably a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I can send it to you email. I don't have your. I think I got your Facebook. But
yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm gonna send it to you right now on let me see.
On Insta or
on Instagram. I'm gonna send it to you right now. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for watching. And make sure y'all like, comment, favorite, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, go in the description box. Go on Elliot's channel, like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Check out all the links on his channel. Check out all the links on mine. And this your boy DJ KillzownJones, Elliot Zel. We out. Peace.